only time I use notes is in a debate. Because in a debate, when my opponent is speaking, I have to jot down. And then I have to put in my hard disk. Difficult. You know, when we record here, we put hard disk and then we put it into LTO drive. LTO drive is for archiving. So when it goes in the memory, it's archiving. Yeah, I'm only jotting down. To retrieve it, I have to take the help of notes. Unless I don't put in the long-term memory. And I don't have the time to put in the long-term memory. So when I jot down points in a debate, that's the only time I pick up and speak. For example, if I have to give comments about how the participants have spoken, I may have my marks. At that time, I have the notes. Now, because we want to be in the same line, I have given you point form notes. That is the reason I'm picking up and keeping it. But giving a talk without notes is the best. If you cannot do it, then have point form notes. That's it. If you have the written text, you will ruin your talk. How to give a speech with written text is a different technique with the podium, which, if time permits, maybe I'll demonstrate. Even with podium, the lower the podium, the better it is. But the lower it is, the more difficult to read it. If you use a podium, use a sleek podium. If you have seen the President of USA speaking, on it is official, not unofficial, but the past president or the present president, you see that they have a base and a thin, not always, not always. Many a time, they have thin and they have a flat surface. So the least is restricted. So if you want to have a podium which has heavy base. If my feet is blocked, no problem. My shoes are blocked, no problem. Then have a heavy base and one rod, same like this, and a flat. The podium will not restrict my talk much here, but me looking down will reduce the eye contact, which we'll do later on. Here when I'm reading, my face is on top. On the podium, important tips. Body language is very, very, now it's a point form so I can look on top, but normally I have to read. Now you tell me, body language is very, very important. Body language is very, very important. Both I'm reading. So reading is also a technique. Reading like that is more effective according to me. My hands are restricted. It's not the best. I'm only doing gestures with one hand. Sometimes I take on my left hand to gestures with this hand. Now when I'm carrying the notes, half my gestures are gone. Half, it's not half, it's more than half. Because with two hands we can do much better. My one hand is blocked. So with notes when you carry, when you use a podium, both your hands are free, but your look is down. So if you cannot give a talk, even with point form, means you must have a script written, then the best is the podium. And there are many speakers who warm it out, and we will be showing you tomorrow how some people use scripts in podium. They have modulation, but you can see the impact. And you have other people who use podium, who know the technique of using podium, which I'll show you tomorrow. They are masters. But again, they're using point form. They use a podium, they are master speakers. But they have limitation, they cannot memorize like Sheikh Didat without notes. That is the limitation. But the same speaker, if you would have spoken, for example, Jimmy Swaggart. Who has seen Jimmy Swaggart speaking? Most of it. Does he speak with notes, without notes? With notes, without notes?
With notes.
Sorry?
With notes.
With notes. Does he speak with podium, without podium?
With podium.
With podium. But he knows the art of speaking with the podium. Very good. One of the best speakers that I know of in the world. One of the best. Not the best, one of the best. Speaker in public speaking skills. Not matter. Not the best, but one of the best. And he's taking care. He's been trained. So training how to speak on a podium is a different technique which we don't want to teach Because why do I want my students to be second class? I want them first class. And there are multiple benefits which we'll know. If you use podium, then not only in first section you get low marks, second, third, fourth, fifth class. And we'll come to it. What is the benefit of speaking from memory and how it benefits your speech, your question answer, debates, everything. Right? So you can use a podium. It's not haram Islamically, but it restricts your body language, your movement, and the impact becomes less. If you have to do it, there's a separate technique of using it which can minimize the loss but not completely delete it. Hope that answers the question. Yes, Brother Firdaus.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Zakir. Naik.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Okay, what is your opinions about in the competition of world public speaking competitions where the participants, they without the mic stand, they are given the mic which is attached to their head, and they move around the stage, which allow more body language expressions, like what Steve Jobs done. Because when we look into YouTube, there's a lot of such video that talking about how they attract their audience by walking around and without being attached to one place. What is your opinion on that?
As far as speaking with a moving microphone is concerned, we'll be doing that later. But because you've asked the question, it is actually overlapping. I thought I'll do it in the public address time. Public address, when I speak, I'll be paying more attention. For a non-Islamic talk, I do agree that speaking the way they speak, for example, do you know which is the best organization for public speaking? Can you give the microphone? Yes.
Carnegie, New York.
I said, which is the best public speaking organization? The best public speaking organization. You want to try? Okay, fine. It's not IRF, huh?
I was going to say that, but then if you exclude that, then it would be Toastmasters.
Toastmasters is known. You want to say? The Toastmasters is known to be. Dale Carnegie is different. Toastmasters is an organization which is an international organization which has got branches throughout the world in many countries, including India, USA, UK. I think all the countries you come from, they'll be having a branch, inshallah. And they're supposed to be people who train, etc. And they also have a competition every year. World Championship, Toastmasters World Championship. And we'll show you clippings of that, inshallah. But the time is yet a few days to go. I thought I'll keep it for that time. Many times it overlaps. And there you do find people using a microphone. Now the difference between that microphone and this microphone is that, I don't know whether should I go into that, because if I go into that, I will lose the concentration here. I think we'll leave it for that time. But in short, I won't go into the details. In short, the difference is there when you're speaking. It's a topic which may be humorous. It is a general topic. Ours is an Islamic topic. Not that you can't add humor to it. But it's not a topic of fun. It's not a love story. It's not a competition of joking. You can use humor. You can use jest in it. But mainly it is a topic where a person has to concentrate. I personally, yes, there are one or two speakers who I know, at present 2, 3 who I know, who do use this, but unfortunately they don't know how to handle the microphone. How to speak on the stage using a microphone which comes to your, it is special holder is there. Normally you cannot speak with a microphone that's called a lapel microphone. A lapel microphone you cannot speak because lapel microphone is not meant for speaking in public. Lapel microphone is meant for recording for television, which we shall deal inshallah in public address system. So if you want to move and speak, there are only two options. Either have a handle microphone. If you're doing a TV recording without the public address system means there are speakers from which the public can hear. If there's no public address system, you can use a lapel microphone for a TV talk, no problem. For a workshop, excellent, the best. But if I use a microphone, which is a lapel microphone, known as collar microphone in layman's terminology, and if I move, there'll be feedback. You know, here could be noise coming. Because that is a different type of microphone we'll discuss in public address system. I don't want to go into details.
إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله محمد رسول الله أرجو رضاك يا الله أنت الرحيم يا الله هبني عطاك يا الله أنت الكريم منك العطاء يا الله أنت العظيم يا الله فيك الرجاء يا الله أنت الحليم الرحمن الستار ملك الملك الغفار الوهاب المنان المتعال الرحمن الستار ملك الملك الغفار الوهاب المنان المتعال الله الله يا ربي يا الله